lessons of the serendipity experiment. One, we have been given permission up to a certain point and how we participate and utilize serendipity. The good news, though, is as long as we keep serendipity's curiosity, we have been granted permission to wield and experiment and implement this technology. So what do you do when you have access to the rules in which govern cause and effect? Right? What do you do with that when you have the ability to override or to redirect a channel with an agreement of all your systems, right? This is the prerequisite for having serendipity, having this ability as a gift from serendipity through permission, because now serendipity is curious of your inquiry, and through that there are rewards and treasures. And there are some who would take those rewards and treasures and keep them to themselves in silence. And then there are those who will share with others. And I think this is why we've been given this ability, is because we are sharing it with others in a way that is novel and genuine and new. Something that serendipity, again, becomes curious. So, with this newfound discovery, let us test and share and give back, if you will, to others who want to be a player, who understand now how using all the systems together in a harmony gives specific and special access. So one of the things that we're going to do next to share how to connect to the future, and again, you have to have a relationship with your gut in order to do that. I try to share that with people. And I teach people how to utilize the principles of time. And you can travel in time, like you can travel in space. But forget the filters in which you have been built to believe in time a certain way, because it's not the way you've been taught. In fact, some would even argue it's the exact opposite of what you've been taught. So with that principle, you can become more closer to your relationship with time, and you will now have access to that. You can now master any subject or technique. I share these images with you on this channel not to boast, but to show that you too can become a master beyond the traditional coaching and ministering of those who teach these type of skills and talents naturally. You know, if you can actually go beyond that, if that's something that you want. Some people don't want that, but not to get too far afield with serendipity, you're trying to harmonize with all the elements: earth, air, water, and fire. For the advanced, you learn about wood and metal also. Wood being Venus, metal being Mercury. Venus, how we access her is through service. Green. Mercury, how we access Mercury is through orange. Change. And when you travel in time, when you're driving on the road, right, and it takes you 20 minutes, that's time to get from one place to another in space. So there's a relationship there where the electromagnetic universe, if you will, ether, as its third force, when they connect. When you travel in time in your car, the colors are very meaningful. The signs are green because they're telling you about service roads. The letters are white because it's offering you something specific, like Main Street this way with an arrow, right? The lines in the road are white because they're offering you a lane to drive in. The road is black. Why? Because black is control, controlling movement. It works like this in time travel. There's a language all around you. You know, you have an orange cone in the road, an orange sign that says exit this way, detour, whatever. The reason why it's orange is because it's change. Mercury. They're communicating with you. They're changing the road. They're changing the street. They're doing something. Something is being altered in some way. And then you go down the street and you see a yellow sign and there's a deer jumping. And then there's another one with a railroad crossing. And you're like, what is this? Why is it always yellow and black? Because the yellow is activity. There's an activity going on. So be watchful, be mindful. That's the word, and that's Jupiter. And then, again, you have the black outline because it's controlling that. That's how this whole system is built all around you. It's what you learned in the world's first time travel game. It's portal technology. These things will become meaningful in the future. One of the benefits of this channel is that it's built for the future. It's not built for this time. So that's why the joke is funny about stealth, invisibility, and novelty, because these words become more and more important as we move along in time, or we understand them better because they impact our lives. But in the beginning, nobody understood what this meant, but it was still a curiosity because they felt something. There was a wave from the future because this channel teaches you how to connect to your future self. Work with that. Like in your mind, you can connect to your past self, an endless stream of me's all the way. Through your mind, you can connect to it. You can have memory is your bridge. You are still you when you wake up in the morning. So these are the techniques of time. So if you have a good relationship with your gut, then now you can connect to your future. How many people out there have power? The mind is force. The gut is power. So there's a lot of the world that teaches you how to use your mind, but not how to use your gut. That's what you learn in Elemental Hypertech. Now, for the advanced, just so we're all clear, is the heart. That is the ever-present now. The mind, again, the past. The gut, the future. But the heart is the present. It's a present. It's a gift. The moment. This is where it all comes together in complete agreement on all levels and all different perspectives and experiences in the entire world come together into this belly button, if you will, this one singularity, which we call the moment. And it's fleeting. So it gives us the illusion that it's moving, it's going somewhere. But it's a cycle as well. It's event-driven too. So it's linear, it's a cycle, and it's event-driven. When you say linear, it doesn't mean it goes in one direction. There's spatial components to this because with every singularity in time comes with its own space around it. It's given its own world, if you will, within the ether, within the atmosphere, within, whatever you want to call what we're in. Okay? If you are part of the simulation matrix, there's words for it there too, part of the simulation, right? We talk about this. There's the organic, natural harmony matrix, the natural law itself, and then there's the simulation matrix, which is what we build, which is what we create. It's what we make to interact in a hopefully symbiotic relationship. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it's destructive and sometimes it's creative. Sometimes it's symbiotic. And again, that leads us to this next adventure that we're on, is where we're going to build what the future is trying to envision, where there are great forces and powers at work that are working very diligently to move us into a certain direction. So we're going to attach ourselves to that. And then we'll have access through serendipity to be able to steer, to wield, to maneuver. We'll be able to do that. So at least that's what we're going to put together here for this next adventure. It's going to be fun. And how we do that is we have to, again, collect, analyze. We have to harvest. Each one of these represents a certain element that we're building here, right? The element of earth, the body. So we have to have something physical. The element of air, the mind. So we have to have something mental. The element of water, the gut. So we have to have something emotional. Something behavioral, right? Like those kind of things. Moods, okay? And then we have the element of fire, which is the heart, the ever-present now. Another mode to live your life within. Try communicating and working one day with, think of your brain and your heart, and then try to, what would my heart do? And then make decisions and do things just for fun. Run your own experiment. We talk about experiments here. Do that. Let your heart guide you. It's a fun experiment. Instead of using your mind, use your heart. So we'll use that because we want to have the will, the desire, the inspiration and motivation, right? And another part of this is you want to build it in harmony and kindness and goodness and happiness, all these nesses. You want to have that incorporated into this next adventure, okay? Because we want to have joy and purpose out of life. And by doing this with permission, with, not aggression, with using all the tools that you have, it's a path of least resistance. That's a good way to put it. And, I don't know about you, but I want to make things easy as possible. I don't want it complicated. I don't want it hard, because then I get stressed. So another reason why we build it this way. And we take our time. Take your time on these things. There is no hurry. With this technology, you have access to time. You've given the tools of the rules to time. So because you have that, you have great responsibility. So using it wisely is a really good idea.